I've been working for WWF Slovakia as a freshwater expert for almost 6 years now. Our office was established, I think it was 2019, as a part of WWF Central and Eastern Europe. And almost since we are working on the dam removal topic. When this is my presentation, I will follow up the previous one, even not be so spectacular, but it will be dam removal in the context of Eastern European country and in the context of smaller barriers and smaller rivers. So you will see the approach and experience with this topic in Slovakia. First of all, so I will use in my presentation term barrier removal, not dam removal, because we have focused mostly on smaller obstacles in the rivers, not large dams, as you saw in the presentation before. There are many reasons for this. Even smaller barriers have less environmental impact, but they are the most common type of obstacles in our rivers. But the issue with removal of big dams we can discuss after the presentation, because it's really a complicated topic. Maybe a brief description of the situation with on the European scale. So we know that the European rivers are the most fragmented one in the world. According to available data, mostly from the AMBER project, there are more than 1 million barriers, not only dams, but also other structures such as weirs, culverts, sluices, forts, and I don't know, many more. And this number of barriers leads to river fragmentation, as also has a cumulative and synergistic effect. So also this is why European Environmental Agency claims that the number of barriers in European rivers is the reason why our rivers or better water bodies do not achieve good ecological status. In Europe, the trend of removing barriers began maybe in France in 2017-18, when 2 large dams on the Sélune River were removed. Many barriers have been removed also in Finland, in Northern Europe, but surprisingly also in Spain. Based on the data, the number of barriers removed is still increasing from 2020 till 2024. And now the Open Rivers Program and Dam Removal Europe are preparing the new report for the year 2025. Also, WWF prepared a report analyzing more than 30,000 barriers on medium and large rivers, concluding that there is potential for removing around 8,000 barriers, which is a theoretical number, and this number must be verified in the field. So when we opened this issue or this topic in Slovakia in 2019, no barriers had been removed yet, at least none that we were officially known by authorities. And we knew that we need a precedent case, so we contacted water authority, conservation authority in our country, and we received from them available data about the barriers, and we developed a decision-making methodology. And based on this methodology, we identified some priority barriers that could be removed. So this was our starting point. We know that the official number, what the River Basin Management Plan says, that we have 1,500 barriers in Slovakia, but those data are not accurate based on detailed inventory of barriers in selected river basins. What we are doing with one live project, we found out that the number of barriers is 3 times higher than the official date. So the number of these 1,500 barriers is definitely higher. Also, I have to say that we focus only on obsolete barrier, so structures without any use or purpose, and which are creating flood risk in the river. The first case was when after we started collaboration with the water authority. The first case was an old weir on the Oder River, and for the removal, more than 18 permits had to be obtained for the removal, and this process took almost a year. So very long process for permitting. And the funny thing about how this first case was that we had all the permits, everything was set, and before the planned removal, the weir collapsed during floods by itself. So it was the very funny moment, and this is also the reason we are arguing with the water authority that removing old barrier will not only improve biodiversity, but also reduce safety risk. And just to illustrate this is an incident from 2021 when one old dam collapsed during heavy rains in a village Rudno, and even one person lost his life. So flood risk is the main argument with our authorities. And finally, the first barrier removal, we managed to remove, or we managed to finalize in 2021 on the Hučava River. It was old, obsolete weir built in 70s with no owner and also with no purpose these days. And the water authority, they provided the technical documentation and approvals, and we secured the financing through the crowdfunding campaign and with the help of WWF Netherlands. And it was a successful example how a low-cost solution can bring only benefits. And we learned a lot from this example, including that the whole legislation process for removing even the small barrier need to be improved because it's very, very complicated. And about this legislative issue, before 2023, our National Water Act did not define or know the term barrier removal. Like other post-socialistic countries, we have problem with barrier ownership. Many barriers were built in the Soviet era, have no owner now, and also there is difference between the owner of the barrier and the owner of the land under this barrier, even it's on the river. And the removal process took a long time because the water authority first have to becoming the owner of the barrier, then somehow register it, then remove it from inventory, and after all can be the barrier removed. So it took a very, very long time. We are happy that we have managed to push through through a change to the Water Act, which in a new amendment allow barriers without owner and without any purpose to be removed by simply asking or reporting or noticing the local district office under some condition, of course, that barrier must be obsolete and the removal will not cause any risk. Also, the barrier removal can be part of a protected area management plan or activities of the authorities from the protected areas. This is the example from Slovak Paradise National Park, when the authority removed remnants of an old dam in 2022. Another nice example is from the National Park Tatra, where on Starohorsky Creek, old hydropower plant was removed, and it was a part of activity of the national park authorities. So in 2023, with the support of Open Rivers program, where on Starohorsky Creek was removed, this barrier was not so high, but this shape of this barrier prevent the fish migration. The grant applicant was local fishing or angling association with the support of the water authority. Again, one low-cost solution for improving of fish migration. And the last example from Slovakia, again, a project founded by the Open Rivers program, was the removal of 5 weirs on the side arm of the Danube. And it was combination of, let's say, improving the longitudinal, but also the lateral connectivity. And the removal was carried by the so-called NGO BROS, and it was a part of larger river restoration. So as I mentioned before at the beginning, so we are missing, or in country, we are missing the detailed inventory of barriers. That's why we also translated this Amber project application into Slovak, and to collect data from the public, which help us a lot. And also the people and the public, people are happy to participate to collect the data. However, we still lack the structured and detailed passportization of rivers and barriers in our rivers, which should be carried, I think, by the water authority. And this why we are missing this data. And I know that such a project is ongoing in Czech Republic. I think it was a live project of passportization of rivers. Maybe very briefly, our next future plans. As a part of the live project, we are working with our partners. Again, those are from the Water Research Institute and from the water authorities. And we would like to remove or modify 15 barriers in some selected river basins in Slovakia. And also, as a WWF, we are planning to apply for the next Open Rivers grant in the future. The calls are open, I think, and we would like to, for now, focus on one non-passable concrete fort, which is another precedent case because it's not a water structure, but it's a structure on the water or on the river, which requires, again, different legislative process. And I mentioned during the presentation that we somehow financed the removal of the ware on the Hučava River through the crowdfunding platform and WWF Netherlands office. But I would like to point out that there is another opportunity, and it's Open River program, which focus on financing the removal of obsolete barriers, mostly not higher than 3 meters. And so far, more than 130 projects were granted and they achieve more than 800 river kilometers opened. So, and more information you can find on the webpage of the Open Rivers program. So thank you very much.